Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz doing some boats work. And I thought I'd really like to make this video because I want you guys who are Blitz players to understand exactly why I find boats so much fun. And it's very hard to find a boat that's more fun than this thing here. This is the Yamato. It is the god of, as far as I'm concerned, the god boat just about of World of Warships. And if you had to put it in terms of tanks, it's got the armour of an IS-7 and the gun of a 183 Death Star. That's exactly what you've got with this thing. And I'm going to show you why it's so cool and what it does really well. And also I'm going to show you a little bit of an excerpt from a game where I really, one of my favourite games in this thing. And I'm going to put it in terms for you. It's got the biggest guns in the entire game. It's got these absolutely monstrous 460mm main battery guns, and it's got 9 of them in 3 separate turrets. It's got the toughest bloody armor profile. It's so strong frontally, and it's also got not much else. It doesn't need much else because it's just enormous and it does huge amounts of damage. Now, one of the things, much like tanks, that boats is going for, and not surprising because they're made by the same company, is angling. If you angle up your boat correctly and you have enough armor, you don't really have to worry about getting smashed. But that doesn't matter with the Yamato. You can see there that little black ribbon on the right hand side of the screen that popped up with the white bars either side of it. That's called hitting a Citadel. And when you hit the Citadel of the boat, which is like the ammo rack basically, and it's where all the good stuff's stored in the boat, you get a full roll on your guns. And this does the biggest damage of any of the guns in the game. It has 14,800 as a maximum AP shell roll. What does that mean? Well, it means when you hit the Citadel, you do 14,800. And when you hit multiple Citadels, you do all the hit points. So you're driving a boat that's incredibly tough to pen frontally and also does all the damages. So you can see why this thing is so rough and tough. It's a torpedo magnet. It's not particularly maneuverable, but who cares? It's the big dog. It's the one that you get out there and play with and have a lot of fun. And they call it the lol pen machine because basically you can do all your angling, you can do absolutely everything right, and lol pen. You're just going to get penetrated. It doesn't matter because I'm a Yamato and you're not. And it's one of the reasons why the American battleships and that have a little bit of a skit or a hissy fit sometimes, because they'll be perfectly angled up to everyone else in the game, and then the Yamato will turn up and it just doesn't care. It just is going to point, it's going to click, and it's going to send you to the land where you bite your keyboard in half because it's a lol pen. And if you're silly enough to give a Yamato broadside, you'll get punished. And you'll get punished all the time. And the guns, not only are they incredibly powerful, like the 183s in Blitz, they're really, really accurate too. So you end up putting good damage in, and there's like 45k into a broadside Yamato. That's an awful, awful lot of hit points to be hitting for. That's just, I mean, 97,000 hit points is a lot, but I just hit a tier 10 for half his hit points. And yeah, he won't be forgetting about me in a hurry. That's the kind of boat you're driving here. And what I'm going to do is show you some examples of just how massively ridiculous this thing can be, and how strong and aggressive and how intimidating it can be. And I drive it pretty aggressively. You can see here, I'm in the front of the team. I am going through and capping B, and I've pushed and pushed and pushed on multiple battleships and DDs, and that's just how I like to play. And it's all kinds of nuance in the game, and there's a lot more involved to it. But I wanted to do this video because the Yamato really breaks those doors down and lets you see exactly why you are going to get out and enjoy playing a boat, because it's so nasty, it's so big, it's so aggressive, and really the only other thing that's going to pen you if you're angled correctly through the front is going to be other Yamatos. And Ta-ta to that poor boy. He got stuck out the back, and I was driving through the middle, and he got stuck in a really bad position. So why don't I go ahead and show you exactly why you'd want to drive this thing. The lol pen machine, the monster, the Ayatollah of rock and roller, the absolute cannot be denied Big Bear. Here we go. There's a Montano pushing up on the left. Again, I'm at the front here. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't do is push. They use these boats to snipe, because not only does it have the biggest guns and the highest damage, it's also got, yeah, there's 3 Citadels. Like, he didn't have enough hit points for me to get full damage from all those Citadels. And I don't know what this Zhao was thinking, but he won't be thinking it for long. They're still picking up little bits of him from all over the countryside. It's got overmatch mechanics going on with it, which means it doesn't matter about your bow armor. There's no bow armor in the game that it can't overmatch. Its caliber is basically so huge. Oh god, look at this poor little Edinburgh. Ta-ta. It was nice to see you. It's just... And that's called a devastating strike, when you basically take all their hit points. And you can see that Yamato over there, he's going to be angled correctly. Our Bismarck has balls the size of coconuts, which is absolutely gorgeous. He's the kind of man I like to play with. He's gone even faster than I have. And we are pushing right through the middle of the map. And even though that Yamato is angled up correctly, it doesn't care. The Yamato, its guns just do not care. That was 1 Citadel and an absolute cubic buttload of like white damage, which is just non-Citadel damage. Oh yeah, there's a Prince Eugen in this game who still wakes up in the morning and feels what just happens to him here. You can see he's turning to broadside to turn away and get out of it. He is a tier 8 cruiser. You cannot be giving me broadside at under 20 kilometers in the Yamato in a tier 8 cruiser, because I will take all your hit points and I will put them in my back pocket. And there you go. That's his entire hit point pool. Thanks very much for coming. It's just like committing seppuku. Yeah, there's a Yamato over there. I'm going to sail broadside and see how it goes. This is another instance. I'm right on the front line again. I'm holding. We are vastly outnumbered, but we own 2 caps, and this Zhao decides he's going to push through. Again, another Zhao that vanishes in the mist and comes out of it looking remodeled. He's got 183 points left, and the good old Fletcher kill secures it for me. Now, just like in World of Tanks Blitz, my beloved World of Tanks Blitz, there are ribbons and badges and things you can win. One of them should be the badge of the brown pants, which is exactly what the entire enemy team probably feels like as the smoke clears, and I'm driving through that Fletcher's smoke here, and they realise that I am not in fact retreating. I'm coming hell for leather into the middle of the cap circle, and I'm hungry. Hungry for love, affection, and other boats. That's a Gruber Kurfürst. Grosser Kurfürst. What am I saying? Not the Gruber. Hans Gruber from Die Hard over there. And in front of us, look at that. It's a Bismarck. That's nearly 20,000 damage of just plain white damage. That's not even Citadel damage. That's just taking a third of his hit points because he was in front of me. And everyone else on the team is just like, yeah, no, I'm out of here, gone. And that's the end of that game. I love this boat. I played so many games in the boat. In fact, I love the boat so much that I bought the enriched version of the camouflage. So I get the sexy camo, and it looks just absolutely fantastic. You just can't give the boat broadside. And look, I understand that a lot of you guys are here for the tank videos, but it's worth having a look at some other stuff and understanding that there are some other good things out there that you might want to have a squiz at if you have the gaming computer and things are a little bit different. It's just Yamato things. Even when you've only got 1 gun, you can see my front turret's taken out. I'm getting smashed by every clown in the world. I am still at the front line. I've got 3 shots only. All of them are going to Citadel, and we put 44,000 damage into that enemy Yamato just before we go down to the depths of Davy Jones' locker. And fair enough, so he should, but look at that. I mean, it's tough, it's so strong, it's got heaps of hit points. And I'm going to show you 1 game. Not even the whole game, just most of a game. And look, like I said, I'm really, really aggressive in this boat. I find it to be so intimidating, and if you want a challenge, playing this boat aggressively can be that challenge. There's 4 destroyers in this game, and the biggest issue for the Yamato isn't other boats. It's not other battleships. Getting burnt by cruisers and things that spam you with high explosive rounds and start fires is tough, and my build, which is basically my equipment loadout for this boat, has taken that into account. It's all about minimizing fire risk and maximizing my damage output. So we're here in a situation where there's a lot of destroyers. Now, destroyers are the worst thing for me because they can fire torpedoes, and I'm so poor mobility-wise that I can't really avoid them. But I've got a lot of hit points, I've got heals, and I've got a very, very strong torpedo belt, which means that I can soak up a lot of damage and keep on ticking. And despite the fact that there is and there's a nice little start to the game, we'll have a Citadel on that Adago, despite the fact we've kicked off the game with 25,000 damage. Woo woo, here we go. Despite the fact that there is not a whole lot of support apart from this Benson here, I'm going to push in and I'm going to be aggressive at the cap, and I'm going to try and deny them, because if someone doesn't get a cap in this game, we are going to be screwed. Now, the majority of the team is all the way over the other side, but the Benson is really good. Look at him. He is going to smoke me up. He has seen that I'm being aggressive, that I'm a good team player. I'm going to help the whole team by actually pushing up and being a preventative entity here at this A cap, and he smoked me up. So he's got American smoke. Now, American pollution is the best pollution in the game. It's the longest lasting and the widest load, which is great, which gives me an opportunity to be really aggressive and pump shells at that other Yamato, Oscar_JQ, who's doing the right thing too. He's been pretty bolshy for a Yamato. A lot of Yamatos you'll find will sit right at the back because they do have the longest range guns out of the battleships up at tier 10. I believe it's 26.6, but you can get a range mod and get that thing all the way out. So it's a bit of a waste of time, but you do it. Now, there's going to be torpedoes coming my way. There is just no two ways about that. And I understand that, and so I'm trying not to be too stationary in the smoke. You can see I'm at a quarter speed forward, and I'm varying my pace so that when they fire torpedoes into the blind smoke, I won't be there where they're firing them. I'm also going to use the islands up ahead to actually push in and give me some torpedo shield work, some barriers to incoming torpedoes. Now, I'm not a fantastic player by any stretch of the imaginations. I watch the videos online just like people watch my Blitz videos so that I can learn more, and it's been a really entertaining thing for me to go back to being the person getting the info instead of the person just trying to provide info to help people out. I've enjoyed it tremendously, actually, and if you are looking for Warships, some people to watch on Warships, go and give Flammo a squiz. He's my favourite. He's a bit of a salty dog at times, but he's pretty good. And Notza as well, I really enjoy those two. So you can see here, the gearing is reversing over there, and I'll always fire at destroyers because destroyers are the bane of my life. And you can see we have someone in C cap. There's a destroyer in C cap. They have excellent concealment, and they are much better at capping than me because everyone can see me. My camo rating is absolutely horrific and everyone can see me, and you can see there's lots of boats on the other side, but we're already down a bunch of boats. Our Zhao's at the back, he's a HE spammer as well. The Shimmer's moved across. I've lost my beloved Benson, which is really upsetting me because he was really, really handy. And now I'm basically the whole western flank. And there are DDs all over me, like white on rice. I've got a Yamato in front of me. There's an Adago that I citadeled earlier who probably has a severe grudge against me. A Hindenburg and an Ibuki all floating around here. There's a Gearing, which is a tier 10 destroyer, which has torpedoes that go forever. It's just not a really good place for me to be. And all I'm trying to do is use these islands here, which can be very, very dangerous for you. They can be like little torpedo alleyways. I'm just trying to be rough and tough. And I really like this game because it shows you just how strong the Yamato is. Not in dishing out the damage. I mean, I've had over 200,000 damage in this boat before, which for a noob like me is pretty good. I mean, good players get that all the time apparently, but I wouldn't know about that. But the damage that this thing soaks up and the effectiveness in the battle, it's just truly tanky. You can see that Gearing there. I've got secondary guns on him. You can see that's all those bits of orange laser going out. That's the secondaries. They're firing off in the Gearing, and I'm going to push into this island here so that I can angle up and really minimize my profile because there's no way he hasn't launched torpedoes at me. Like, he's absolutely launched torps. You'd know they're coming. He's turned broadside so he can get his torpedoes off, and I'm just trying to make sure that he cannot, absolutely cannot get me. And all this smoke that you see over there is the guys wanting to set up in that smoke and pump HE shells at me. The gearing's put it up so that he can get away because he was very, very low, and here come those torpedoes, as I thought. And I'm expecting more torpedoes from on my right. Here we go. There's some more. I'm going to eat one. That's an acceptable result for me. That's one. Flooding occurs, so I repair that. And I've already chucked the big Yama in full reverse so that the torpedoes that will now come from my right, I'm expecting, and the HE span that's going to come from over there will not be able to get me. So I'm surrounded by boats, but I'm using the islands to be successful. And I'm trying to keep them off. And you can see how many there are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boats around me. Well, there's 6 directly around me, and there's 2 more at the back who don't like me very much either. I'm plane spotted. I'm going to try and shoot down that plane. I knew there was more torpedoes coming from that side. The Atago has put his big boy pants on, and he wants to push in and give me a little bit of a punishing. I'm all for that. He's welcome to come and give it his best shot. Come at me if you think you're hard enough. I'm in a Yamato. It's very, very nasty. Very, very tough. There's a Grossovoy. He's interested well. Now, the key here is I can't shoot at him, and I say me versus the world over here in chat. I'm detected again. No joke. I'm going to just spend the whole time not sure how there's anyone else left to be shot at over the other side, because basically they've lost 3 boats. They're down to 9 boats. And they're all here. They're all at me. And the team tells me, hold on, I'm coming. There's the Atago. He's a very saucy devil, isn't he? I've pushed back and I'm angling up to the Atago. Now you can see how much damage I've taken here. I've not blown my repair. I've got a fire on me, but I can't afford to blow a repair on one fire when there's a chance I could eat another torpedo, get another fire set on me immediately thereafter. I've got to put damage into this Atago, and I'm angling up to the Hindi. I repair there. I just had to repair there, and I hit my, you can see the repair goes for 25 seconds, and that's that green stuff on the other side of the boat that's going up. That's me actually getting more. Now, the Hindenburg doesn't want a bar of me broadside. He has gone back into the island as well, and I'm on fire again. There's another Yamato there. There's a Hindenburg there. We are still missing multiple destroyers who no doubt are wriggling around, trying their level best to get shots on me as I go backwards and forwards between these 2 islands. There are flames all over my screen for good reason. And there you go. There's some more torpedoes that snuck through the gap between the islands where I would have been if I had been a stationary clown. But stationary Yamatos are dead Yamatos, and there's more torpedoes. When you don't get hit by torpedoes, they call it a beat. I like to think of it as a disco beat. I have only 13,000 hit points left, and getting hit by that torpedo would have been quite poor. And there's more torpedoes coming from the left. Basically, just torpedo soup. They, however, are from the good guys who have finally picked up the thread and are running on. So I've held over here, just held this flank in this monstrously big, angry, just demon boat. And it's just worked a treat. We've clawed it back. We've taken B and C. And despite the fact that I haven't done a whole lot of damage, only 71,000, I feel like I've been tremendously helpful to the team. And that's the beautiful thing about this boat. It's why I really, really love it. It's a zone protector. You drive this thing towards a space, other boats don't want to be there. Other boats won't give it broadside, and other boats become fairly timid. And it's given me the chance to withdraw behind that island, get some space, do another repair, and now, because I've got a few more hit points back, I'm going to push up again. Why? Because when you're onto a good thing, stick to it. They don't like pressure. No one likes a Yamato pushing on them. Even though I'm a boat down, we're now 2 caps up, so we are gaining points. A cooler you machine, he came over as well. I've seen a cooler around a few times. There's some really good people in boats too. There's some clowns, just like there is in Blitz. And they also have the karma system in boats where you get your pluses and your minuses. There's a New Orleans. I'm trying to extend across there so that I can get the shell off because the the hill was in the way. I probably should have just waited to take it off. And my secondaries open up on the New Orleans as I angle towards him. The Bismarck wrecks him. And now we are even Stevens on the boats, and we are able to continue to push forward aggressively, which is pretty bloody cool. Oscar JQ, he was in the Yamato. He pushed up. Hats off to him. I can't get shots off. The hills are still in between. I am pushing, just edging forward. What I'd like to do here is, there's still 3 DDs missing. I know that one of them is loitering around here somewhere, but the 2 others have sailed onwards and upwards and given up the ghost. If he's launched torps about to where I'm coming, oh, that was brilliant. I did a bit of landscaping there, a bit of terraforming on the mountainside. Needed a bit of excavation. If there is any torpedoes coming, because I slowed down and I varied my speed, it's more likely they're going to miss. They would have been launched earlier, which is exactly why I was doing that. I was varying the speed on the Yamato. Now I've gone to top speed because I can see that these guys are running away, and the torpedo boats are probably out there, but there's not much else to be done. The guns let me down there, but geez, she's big, she's tough, she's got a good torpedo belt, she's got amazing guns. When they hit so hard. It's an intimidating boat. It's just such a straightforward drive too. If I could recommend one thing to anyone joining the game, World of Warships, it's to start driving a boat like this. Drive up the Japanese BB line, battleship line, or drive up, one of the battleship lines. I wouldn't drive up the American line. Like, just drive up the Japanese battleship line or the German battleship line, and you get these really tough boats that can just do the business. So that's it. There's lots more content coming over the next wee while. Here we go. We're gonna get the other Yamato. Happy days. There's a lot more content coming over the next wee while. We've got to finish off in Blitz, finish off the American Lights, the T-41 Bulldog. I've got to do that, which is going to be a great fun. That's a really fun tank. I'm going to be doing a podcast today as well. I'm doing a Patron-only podcast every Monday. For those who are in the Patron know, we did one last week. It was really good. Just a 20-minute podcast outlining where the channel's at, what's going on. So if you are a patron, make sure you have checked that out. The winner of the... I'm going to do the announce on the video too for the winner of the T-3485 Victory competition. And I'm going to hopefully be doing a lot more competitions in the near future as well. And by the way, there is a karma system in World of Warships. It's where they got it from, I believe, from Blitz, and in PC World of Tanks. And basically, it just tells you that, when you're doing well, people will compliment you. And I think one of the guys over there said that, well played to me, and he was going to compliment me in this game, which gives me a little thrill, because obviously we were pretty aggressive and we tanked it really nicely on that flank, and we held a lot of boats, so the rest of the team had a chance to do what they needed to do. And because the boat's so intimidating, no one really wanted to push in and give me broadside to get me out of there, so I basically just held on and did my best. Grats Yamato, you're not dead, he says. Grats Yamato, you're not dead. I love it. That's like, yeah, I was definitely meant to be dead. There's no two ways about it. Until next time, boys and girls, look after yourselves, look after your families. Don't be too angry at me. I'm doing my best over here. I'm just one man doing his best. And stay safe on the battlefield.